Hello and welcome to this class on Intro to Essential Oils, where we are going to talk specifically about lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And tonight I am going to be following the format for the class is going to be as follows. So first of all, I'm going to start out by talking with you about who I am, my experiences with essential oils, how I got started with essential oils, and why you should listen to me as an expert in essential oils. Then we're going to move into talking about how to use essential oils safely and how to choose good quality essential oils. Then we will talk individually about each oil. So we'll start with lemon and talk about lemon essential oil. Then we will move in and talk about lavender and then peppermint. And then we will finish by talking a little bit about all three essential oils and how you can benefit from combining them together to make a really powerful trio. So that is what we are going to get covered and talk tonight. So let's get started to begin with talking about who am I and my experiences with essential oils. How did I get started with essential oils? So I am Anna Laura Brown. I am a certified holistic health coach with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I have also been a doTERRA wellness advocate since 2011. My first experience with essential oils was actually with a different company, probably around 2006. I had attended a women's networking event, and at that time I was actually in the candle business. I had done that for about 6 years before I joined doTERRA, and I was there promoting my candles, and I heard a lecture about essential oils from a lady, and at the time I just tried some peppermint essential oil, but she didn't do a very good job of following up or providing me with any ongoing education, so I never really used it that much, didn't really get into really using that many essential oils. I had just bought that one because at the class I had been kind of motivated to try out some peppermint for some different reasons. I was also familiar with peppermint because of my own experiences as a child drinking peppermint tea for a variety of different purposes. And so then fast forward to about 2009, and I had moved back to Utah. Originally, I had been introduced in the beginning to essential oils in Indiana, and I was attending a business networking event again, promoting my candles, and I met a lady there that I had become really good friends with, who is now my sponsor and enroller and upline in doTERRA, and she had started offering different essential oils, and I had become really intrigued to begin with a blend called Breathe, because I had some respiratory challenges that I wanted help solving. And so I started using that one, and then I realized that I got sick more frequently than I wanted to, so I started using some essential oils to help with my immune system. And then I started just gradually realizing that there were a lot of different things that I could use essential oils for. And so then in 2011, things also happened with the candle business, and I decided I just didn't want to do that anymore and decided to jump full feet first into doTERRA. And so I not only at that time became a wholesale customer and a wellness advocate, but then I started promoting and doing the business. And I have never looked back since, and I have never regretted it. It has been a really amazing journey. It has been full of ups and downs, but it has been really, really good. So I strongly encourage you that if you are not yet using essential oils, or maybe you're using a different brand, but you're not sure how well they work, if they're just not giving you the results you want, let's reach out, let's have a conversation about it. I would be more than happy to help you, and I'm not going to be pushy or try to encourage you to do the business if you don't want to, or to buy a lot of stock or inventory or things that you don't need or that you aren't going to use. So I do offer free consultations to help assist you in determining which essential oils are a fit, as well as some of our other supplements. So doTERRA offers a full line of supplements as well, including things like probiotics and collagen, but that's not going to be the topic of this class. As you can tell, the topics of this class for tonight is lemon, lavender, and peppermint. So I will now go ahead and get started on talking about some things that you want to consider when it comes to essential oils. Now, you probably, even if you're not really an expert in essential oils, or if you haven't spent a lot of time studying them, if you just, even glanced through Amazon, been to the store, talked to friends and family, that kind of thing, you probably know that there are, I would say, hundreds, if not maybe thousands of different brands and kinds of essential oils available in the marketplace today. And not all of them are created equal. And there are a couple of reasons why you really want to be careful when it comes to quality. And typically, the very best quality is not going to be found on Amazon or at the grocery store. That's just how it is. A lot of those oils are synthetic and contain, maybe a little bit of essential oil with primarily synthetic. And one of the things to be aware of is that in the US, it can be an essential oil can be labeled as 100% pure, even if it's only 3% essential oil, and the rest could be a synthetic perfume. That seems really crazy to me, and I know crazy to a lot of other people when they realize it, but that's just the reality. So you can't really trust that just because it says on the label 100% pure, that it is in fact actually 100% pure. So how do you identify a quality oil? Well, there are a couple of things for you to think about. So one thing is that you can see here on this bottle of this lemon, and hopefully it's fairly easy to see. Let me see if I can adjust my background. No, that seems to be it. Okay. Sometimes a little tricky on Zoom with some of the background stuff. Is you can kind of sort of see there how it says lemon and then it says citrus, limon. And then there also is, like on lavender, for example, maybe that one's a little bit easier to see. I don't know, you may not be able to see it, but it has the Latin name and it says Lavandula angustifolia. So it has the actual Latin name of the plant on the label. So that is one thing that you want to take a look for. A lot of fragrances and cheaper essential oils do not list the Latin name on the label. So that is something that is really, really important. The other thing you also want to take a look at is, while you cannot take every essential oil internally, you should be able to take some essential oils internally, and especially the ones that come from citrus plants or things that typically you might also associate with a tea, or things that you would think, oh, maybe I should be able to eat that. So for lemon, lavender, and peppermint are really good examples of essential oils that you may need, that you should be able to take internally. Now, that said, taking essential oils internally requires caution. It requires being really careful. And even with a quality oil like doTERRA that can be taken internally, I recommend that your primary method of usage is not going to be internal. And there are a couple of specific reasons when you may want to use these oils internally. And I will talk about those as we go on here in the class tonight. But you don't want to just, use tons and tons of essential oil internally, that kind of thing. I basically heard from some of our leadership that for the most part, you want to focus on, not having, you should have more than about 20 total drops internally in one day. So that means, combination of, like, if you put a little bit of lemon in water, then, that you don't want to overdo things and also have that and other things. So anyhow, let's get started then. So those are a couple of things. And the other thing you also want to think about is you want to think about, does the oil come from the country where it's natively grown? So for example, lemon comes and is native primarily to Italy. So that's, where you want to get it from. Lavender is native primarily to countries like France and Bulgaria, that kind of thing. So while you can grow lavender, for example, in our backyards here in Utah, lavender essential oil that comes from lavender grown in the backgrounds in Utah, and that is a desert and then also has a lot of snow, is not going to be as high quality. And so you really want, that really does matter. And then peppermint actually comes from Washington State in the United States. So you really want to think about that. And then also, do you have access to third-party lab testing that the labs have gone through, the chemists have sorted through the profile and said, hey, this profile, this essential oil really fits really well the profile for a real, truly certified or really pure therapeutic grade essential oil. Okay, So the first thing, oh, and then actually the last thing that I should add as well is the other thing you'll sometimes see around common among cheaper essential oils is sometimes you'll see where all the essential oils have the same price or cost the same amount of money. And this is a really big problem because essential oils should not all cost the same. Different essential oils, depending on how easy they are to obtain, how much plant material you need for an oil, all different kinds of factors should have different prices. So for example, lemon should be cheaper than peppermint and frankincense should be more expensive than peppermint. That's just a standard general. And then there are also ways of determining, so things like frankincense is not going to be super cheap if it's really pure. And if it's too cheap, you really want to question the purity of it because it just really shouldn't be, because frankincense is just not a cheap essential oil to obtain. Okay, so that now I'm done talking about that. Okay, so lemon essential oil. So here's this bottle of lemon. There are a ton of different ways that you can use lemon. And tonight I'm just going to talk about some of the common ones. So one common method for using lemon would be for any kind of a cleaning application. So lemon essential oil actually works really well to do things like adding to a baking soda and absorbing it in the carpet to get out smells. You can make natural cleaners with lemon where you combine the lemon and water and baking soda or lemon and vinegar and make a cleaner. You can also use it for even things like you can even get ink stains out of the wall, including permanent ink, which is a little known fact that people sometimes don't realize. You also can use it to just slide like some stuck gum out of hair. If you have little kids that stick gum in their hair, you can use a little bit of lemon essential oil on a cloth and just kind of gradually it will shrink it out. So that's kind of a good way. So cleaning, also lemon essential oil is, sorry there, get that out of the way here so it makes some noise, is also known as an essential oil that is really good for cleansing and purifying the body as well as your house. So you can put, like 2 to 3 drops in a glass of water and drink it, as long as it is an actual pure oil that is okay for internal consumption. You do want to be really, really careful that you don't put too much in though. So literally no more than 2 drops is probably recommended. And that can help to cleanse and detoxify your body. You can also add some to water and use it to like wash fruits and vegetables and things, and that can help with the just getting them cleaner and some degree detoxifying, some of the chemicals that might be in the water that you're using, that kind of thing. So it's just a really good overall essential oil for that. And so, yeah, so lemon, good for cleaning both your house, also good for cleaning you as well. And then it also can be a really good essential oil for some kinds of cooking. So assuming you're using one that is good for internal use, you can use it to add like a drop or two to say like a chicken or fish dish and use that in place of some lemon juice or lemon spice. So, anytime that you would cook with lemon, you could use lemon essential oil. You want to be really, really careful though, because it is really, really strong. So you may in some cases even want to take a toothpick and just do a little swirl, or, just be really, really careful that you don't use more than a drop or two. Okay, so then let me see now and check and see if we have any questions. Does not look like we currently have any questions. I'm just going to double check here on my Facebook page, since I am actually live streaming this on Facebook. And let's see here. Make sure that nobody's asking any questions. And it looks like as of right now, we don't have any. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so the next essential oil that we are going to take a look at is lavender. And lavender is known by a lot of people as being an essential oil that is really good for calming, de-stressing, helping with sleep, those kinds of things. And those are in a lot of ways just the tip of the iceberg of what lavender essential oil is good for. So lavender is known as by a lot of circles as the queen of essential oils. So they call frankincense, which we're not talking about tonight, but is a really powerful oil, the king of essential oils, and lavender is known as the queen. And lavender, like I said, is really good for sleep. You can spritz your pillow with it. You can put, just a few drops on your wrists and rub them together and inhale before you go to bed. You can, even put a couple drops in a capsule and swallow it before you go to bed to help you calm down. It's a really good one to put in a diffuser for helping with stress, helping you to calm down, that kind of thing. But lavender is also really, really good for any kind of a skin issue. So, you stay outside too long and you've been in the sun too long, you can apply a little bit of lavender essential oil to help diffuse some of the damage or the ache you may have from the sun. You can also help with, like you get a mosquito bite, a bug bite, or, a lot of different variety of skin issues. Lavender can be really soothing and help heal and assist in that as well. So those are just some really great things that you can do with lavender. And I just want to check my list here, see if there's anything else that I missed. No, those are the main, things for lavender. Okay. So then peppermint essential oil, it's my peppermint, is great for a lot of things. So one of my favorite ways to use it is I have struggled with quite a bit of, sinus issues. So just to rub it a little bit under my sinuses and just inhale, and it helps promote clear breathing, helps clear out my sinuses. I sometimes will even put a drop or two like in a neti pot with some water and rinse my sinuses out. I also will sometimes like to put a couple drops of peppermint, a couple drops of lavender, and stick them into a diffuser, and makes a really good combination for diffusing, especially at night while I'm sleeping, because it can help with the calming, relaxing, and it can also help with the sinuses and that kind of thing, which I don't know about you, but sometimes I find that my sinuses really struggle more at night than they do during the day. Okay, so there's that. And then, like I mentioned previously, I grew up drinking a lot of peppermint tea when I was younger, and peppermint can also be, you can use peppermint essential oil in place of a peppermint tea. Just boil some hot water and put in a drop or two and drink it, and it's really strong. Has therapeutically the benefit of about 30 cups of peppermint tea. So you want to be really, really careful that you don't overdo it. I would say anything more than 2 drops is going to be too much. And it can help with, a lot of stomach discomfort, digestive discomfort. Personally, I have really severe gluten issues and haven't been tested for celiac and can't be because I haven't eaten gluten in 10 years. But if you struggle with a lot of gluten issues and things like that, you may find that taking some peppermint, if you get accidentally gluten at a restaurant or something like that, can be really good. Also can be really good for like seasickness or road sickness. You start having that little bit of a problem on an airplane or in a car or boat, something like that. I definitely never ever go on vacation or fly, or, I haven't ever been on a cruise yet, but coming up, I'm going to be going on a cruise for the first time next year. And so, making sure that peppermint is one essential oil that will definitely be coming with me no matter what. It's one that I never ever leave home without, even though I, typically don't travel with as many essential oils as I might otherwise. Peppermint is one of those ones I definitely don't leave home without. And then, you can also use it if, you start getting a little bit of the tension here in the neck, back of the neck, the forehead, and you're like, oh man, because peppermint also has some things in it chemically that can help with a little bit of, like reducing the inflammation, the swelling, a little bit of that. You could even, it's not my number one choice for, helping with like the little kink in the neck, in the back, or a little bit of the stress or discomfort in the knee, not quite my number one choice, but a lot of the blends that I use have peppermint in them. So peppermint can just be really good for helping with the swelling, the discomfort, that kind of thing as well. So those are a lot of the main reasons that I like to use peppermint. You can also even put peppermint to make like a bath bomb out of it, or like a shower melt or something to help with your sinuses. However, it is a little bit of a hotter essential oil, so you may want to dilute it when you put it directly on your skin. And I definitely don't recommend just sticking it directly in the bath without using it like as part of a bath bomb or with some Epsom salt or something else, because by itself, it can actually sting you. So that's something that you really want to be careful of as a word of caution. Okay, so then how can you combine all three of these essential oils into a powerhouse? Well, the number one way that I like to do it is to put a couple drops of each into a capsule, or you can buy them from doTERRA already formulated into a formula called Tri-Ease. And this is considered the seasonal blend that you can use when you have, those seasonal threats and you just, and your eyes are watering a little bit, and you're just really wanting some kind of support to help you survive some of those seasonal challenges that a lot of us encounter. We go outside, we're around too many trees, bark, things shredding everywhere, and our sinuses and eyes are just really not loving it, so to say. And this can work really, really effective as a natural alternative to having to take a drug for that kind of thing instead. And in some cases, I've noticed when I'm having a really, really bad case of that, then sometimes I may have to use some additional homeopathics or combine with some other kinds of supplements or oils or other strategies like acupuncture, chiropractic, things like that. But it can give you a really good start. You can also take a drop or two of the three and combine them into some honey and eat it. And that can work really, really well. Basically, what I would do would just try to put just one drop of each onto a tablespoon of honey and just eat the honey in the spoon. And I find that sometimes that can work even better, especially if the honey you're using is a local honey. So what you want to do is go get that honey from a farmer's market, for example, would be a good place to use that. So that's really my favorite combination for all three. The other way you can also use it is by putting all three into a diffuser and letting those diffuse throughout the house. It actually smells really, really amazing to use that three combination. So that's pretty much sums up this class. So what I'm going to do is the recording will be posted. And if you have any questions when you see this recording, please feel free to reach out. And I'm going to offer a free drawing as well. And the way that this drawing will work is the first qualified person, so you can't already be enrolled in doTERRA or be a customer. You have to not be enrolled in doTERRA, who posts a helpful question or comment or messages me will be eligible for me to send you this little intro kit. Now there we go. Now we can see it there. This has 5 ml. So you can see here, these are 15 ml. These are the smaller bottles of each one. And the packaging is a little bit old. I've had this in my stock for a little while now. And I will send this to you as long as you qualify. I do have to add the caveat that you must live in the United States as well, because shipping wise, customs, whatever, I cannot ship to Canada or other countries. However, doTERRA is open for business in a lot of other countries, including India and China and that kind of thing. So you can sign up and you can purchase in other countries. I just can't ship you oils in other countries from my own personal stock here in the United States. So anyhow, that offer is available. And now I'm going to stop the recording and then I will see if there are any questions. And you will also find a link with this recording as well, where you can go and check out the lemon, lavender, and peppermint and order some if you feel like that is something that you want to do.